Hello. I'm just doing the most the last preparation for the stream. So welcome to the stream. Let me double check on my phone. Nice, and it's working on my phone as well. So it's good. Welcome. It's late night talks with romantic developer, and today we have 243 issue of our series, stream series, and yeah. It's stream about everything, but more. Of course, we are doing more about AI news review, about some software development topic, about some experiments, and about topics which are sensitive to me, about politics, about situation in the world, human relationship, parenting, husbanding, marriaging, and so on. Yeah, and I think my format will slightly change going ahead, and probably I'll not do streams every day on this channel. Rather, I want to step into some other topics, and instead of our usual streams here about everything, I will do more targeted streams. But yeah, since those streams are not have a high view rate, so I'll do more targeted streams, and people will not struggle and trying to understand what's going on, what I'm trying to tell, and so on. Okay, let me start my chatbot, which will be not so project. And romantic developer, our YouTube AI helper, and let's call stream. Oh, okay. Looks like I need to authenticate my channel once again. Okay, and let's start my chatbot. Probably it's also want to be authenticated. Okay. Looks like we authenticated everything. My chatbot should say in the chat, yes, hi everyone, chatbot is active. Let me check if my sound is on computer. Hello everyone, streamer and other people. Testing connection. So let's test connection. And if it would be nice, you should hear what my chatbot says to me in the stream, and I will hear it on my computer clear and loud. Okay, now it will try to generate.
Hello everyone, streamer and other people, testing connection.
Okay, yeah, it's working. Of course. So what else we can do today? Okay. So with our chatbot, we can look at some AI news probably. Let's not spend on that a lot of time. So let's just switch to my screen, and you see it's my live transcriber. We just get everything I talk, and it's try to transcribe it into English, and it will preserve it everything into some file. And my live chatbot Once it receive any question, receive any message, it will use that transcription file just to understand the context. It will take some of this context to provide you an answer. So if you are asked about what's going on the stream, it will provide you pretty good answer. Okay, so let's go to our ChatGPT. Let's use O3 Mini. I had used some template. Probably it's already not as good, but yeah, I don't want to search for the latest. And we search for the news after March. And it would be March, let's say on or after March 16. Let's use 15 because, yeah. Let's copy. Oh, I hope it would search some news. Of course, it shouldn't do like that. And let's look the grok as well, because it's trying to provide us something meaningful as well. So we will not use GPT 4.5 and other models. We don't have any new cool models here. So yeah, China Reuters, March 15, launches 2 new AI model. It would be Ernie X1 and Ernie 4.5, and Ernie X1 is reasoning-focused models that match competitor DeepSeek performance but at half of the cost, while Ernie 4.5 boasts superior multimodal understanding and improved language logic and memory abilities. I believe they called Ernie 4.5 just to mimic ChatGPT 4.5. You know, they release it, but it's not, of course, 4.5. It's not multimodal understanding. Yes, it's GPT 4.5. It doesn't have speech capabilities, and as far as I remember, of course, it doesn't have modalities like videos and audio files. It can work with images, and that's it. AI was cloning scams, a persistent threat, of course. An Axios report highlights how advanced voice cloning technologies, while promising for accessibility, are increasingly exploited by scammers. A recent Consumer Reports study showed how many products lack robust safeguards, contributing to over 845,000 imposter scams in the US last year. Yeah, of course, it's very, very critical because you need maybe just 30 seconds of someone's voice just to create some models which will try to match their voice. And if you, for example, create a phone call and prepare some message for someone, and you know at least something about those people connections, it's very easy to trick that person because it could leave, like, I don't know, some voice message, you know, and because over phone it's not very clear. Of course, the person could have full belief that it's message left by someone who that person know. AI revolution. Can we build a good robot? Vox feature, March 15 feature, and accompanying products. Good robot dive into the heated debate over AI future. While some tech leaders warn of existing risk, others argue to our emphasis on hypothetical dangers that overshadow real harms like bias, misinformation, and discrimination that AI system already cause today. So I think we could build a good robot, and it's what we waiting for. Chinese fund manager embrace AI post DeepSeek. Chinese asset managers are rapidly adopting AI-driven trading strategies. Funds are now leveraging models to process market data and generate trading signals. An approach boosted by government support and advanced computing resources challenging traditional Western practices. Okay, if before it was a war between trading systems created in Chinese and European countries. Of course, this world now extends with usage of modern AI systems. It's just next step. It's French publishers use Meta over AI training data. Again. Some publisher authors, companies use copyrighted work without permissions to train AI models. So again, it's something like, you used, I don't know, some book without our permissions, which we sell you, but you should ask us permission to read it and learn from it. AI systems, like humans, they learn, they read, and they get the data and add to their knowledge. And that it, of course, they're much better than human can repeat something in style, and they could repeat something, but normally they doing, for example, with multiple, my conversation with ChatGPT, normally it wouldn't return you unchanged copyrighted text. Rather, it could summarize it, it could provide you some basic information. I tried to use ChatGPT to learn some Spanish songs, and some songs are under copyrighted law, and it would say, I'm sorry, I couldn't provide you a text. So unless I provided a text, it's what wasn't very successful communication with ChatGPT. I'm just telling you that how good ChatGPT is. I think Meta can do that as well. And that copyright things, authors should accept that it's new reality. Someone can easily repeat what they've done and do it pretty professionally. They just need to produce new and new things which no one can create except them. They should be really unique. It shouldn't be like I wrote some book and now I can use my style to write multiple books and be successful. No, you should be talent. It's my opinion, of course. I, as a person who created in my life something as well, from computer code to some, I don't know, to some even writings or some paintings or some models for 3D printing, etc. I understand that it's not so good, but if I share it with public, even say it's my copyright, I'm under some creative license or so, I'm okay that others can learn from it and use it. Or just, write your books and leave it on your table. Never share it with anyone. You can do that. AI will never know about them. DeepSeek AI Lan Wenfeng, a China new superhero. Celebrated as a nation icon, DeepSeek AI founder Lian Wenfeng is hailed for pioneering cost-effective high-performance AI models that challenge Western technologies. Yes, he did a really cool work. His company, let's say that, his company, but any company couldn't be successful if it's not led by some good, talented CEO or some director or some manager, you call it. So to be a cool company, you need a good leader for sure. So if company under some leader could achieve something, of course, praise that leader. AI creative block struggling with true expressions. OpenAI Altman recently showcased a model touted for its creative writing abilities, including a metafictional piece on AI and grief. However, public feedback indicates that while the model demonstrates technical facility, it still falls short on genuine creativity and emotion, deep characters, and human artistry. It's fine. No model can really understand that emotional depths between people's conversation, between what people really feel to each other, and it could learn only from what people share about that feeling in writing. But I believe there are multiple unlimited way of expressing those emotions over and over again, and it's something that model will never help you to achieve all those variety. So it's where human creativity stays. Some Altman on AI deflectionary impact and GPU constraints. At a recent, what is that? It looks like old, March 10, yeah. A recent private Morgan Stanley conference, Altman discussed how AI advancements could drive deflation by dramatically reducing the cost of tasks across industries. Okay. Okay. AI trips over its own AGI ambitions. We're at March 6th. It's very old news. Of course, it's very old news from March 1st. And let's see anything new from Grok. I'm sorry. Bless me. China Manos AI agent, a potential glimpse of AGI. So it's not AGI. Chinese startup Butterfly Effect unveiled Manos. So first general AI agent capable of autonomous decision making without specific human instructions. Unlike traditional chatbots powered a single LLM, Manos employs a multi-agent architecture integrating multiple LLMs and independent software component to handle diverse tasks autonomously. This approach is seen as potential stepping stone toward AGI. So it's not an AGI, in what we call AGI, of course. It just would be very clever LLM. Google DeepMind power physical robot with Gemini 2. Okay, we read about it. It's Gemini Robotics and Gemini Robotics ER, extended reasoning. So it's, even if you build something like robot with some hands, you can use those systems somehow to teach it how to use it and so on. Of course, it's something we need to investigate, but it's very promising. So it's very old news. It's very old news. It's very old news. Of course. Of course. So Grok in that way provided us some news which are pretty, of course it doesn't provide it, but it's a March 7, February 20, about months ago, March 7, about more than week and a half ago, March 6, the same 10 days ago, February 27, it's about 3 weeks ago. So you see it's March 12, 4 days ago. So only Manos, it's still trending, I'd say trending Manos. It's buy and white only, per my understanding, still. So we couldn't try it ourselves, but yeah, it's something cool. Okay. What we will do the next? We thought about trying some of OpenAI SDK for creating agents. Yes. And maybe we can use for that Cursor. I haven't used Cursor a lot. I use Visual Studio Code with Copilot thing, and I use a lot of Cloud Code, which command line tools available only in WSL. So what we will do, I think we just say, is it a way to close projects? Duplicate workspace, close window. Really, window is not proper choice. Let's open Cursor once again and try to close folder. Okay, what we can do, probably we can clone a repo, and we have our OpenAI agents Python, and let's copy and let's refresh the page. I think it was updated quite recently. No, 3 and 5 days ago. Okay, so it's more or less stabilized. PPI. Okay, let's copy that thing and let's go to cursor and say clone repo or course, and it asks me to select folder where we will do copy. I think we can use C projects and use something like Romantic Developer. And let's create new folder, OpenAI agents. I know it would be big. Open. Okay, so let's close welcome. Let's go to examples. And we have some examples like research bot, probably. We have some simple output. So we have our agent on Cloud Sonnet syncing agent. And what we'll do, what we can do, we can go to our OpenAI local helper and just copy that. And let's try to use cursor for that. So looking at, let's make the tab bigger. Files and folders, code. Can we add files and folders? Research. Okay. Oh, research bot. Okay, so looking at research bot functionality, I would like you to create another example, an example folder, and call it YouTube helper with the next functionality. Please generate as many agents as it will be required and create agent which we could talk to about our tasks around supported functionality. Okay, will we try that agent for creating an agent? So it's, you see, it's understanding its files in research bot. We already looked at that file on during our previous stream. So, and it's look for different planner agent, search agent, writer agent. Now it has a good understanding of the research bot. So it's create agent YouTube helper, agent examples, and examples YouTube helper sample outputs. Okay, run commands. By Z. Outrun. Continue. Run command. Okay, YouTube helper is created. So you see, now it was able to create. So of course it would be init py. All right. Probably it's some of my so it's create init py here and init py here. So it's now generating a manager py. Oh, all right. It's pretty big. And printer and main py. So, all right. It has all the arguments, but it also have interactive mode. Enter command. And it's look for any command. Interactive mode. I'm just looking if it's not any of understanded command, like command. Okay, it will just run manager run command. Okay, it's create all the result, refine transcript result, video metadata, thumbnails result, chat message, chat assistant agent, web search tool, GPT-4, nice. And instructions are here. Oh, cool instructions. When activated for live monitors incoming chat message in real time, analyze the content. Of course, it's nice, but it couldn't do that without, without YouTube API, of course. Conversation agent. Helpful conversation agent. You have knowledge about this YouTube helper features. Of course. And its instructions, output conversation tools, web search tool, model settings, process messages. But it doesn't have those agents. Resume the conversation. Okay, it's even generated our YouTube helper overview, implementation details, next steps, and so on. So all the files we need to accept. I'm not sure what it's doing here, why it's saying. I'm just thinking that it's probably because of someone formats the file in the background. It's why it says that please review the file, but I really not up to reviewing anything. So no sample output, but there is readme. Okay, let me look here what we received. So a multi-agent system that's working with YouTube videos, providing a comprehensive set of tools for content creator and consumers. Features. Usage, command line, Python, examples, YouTube helper, main. Command options. Of course, most probably it wouldn't work like that, but let's use command prompt. Of course, and if we just using that Python examples, it says no model named rich, and it's happened in YouTube helper main py. So it's requiring us manager, YouTube helper manager, JSON, argparse, asyncio. It's all internal types, and in manager, it's look for rich console, and everything other is from our files. And in printer, we look for each settings. Okay. Please generate requirements txt for YouTube helper example, please. Let's see if we can ask Cursor to create us some. Of course, we are very far from implementing that. So it will need to create requirements. Hopefully it will put it here. So it has reach, Pydantic, YouTube DLP, PyTube, movies, OpenAI, Google API, Python client, Python.NET, request, nice, all the Google notification, WebSockets. Okay, YouTube requirements, Windows, I've created and completed. Pip install R requirements command. Let's look on that requirements, YouTube requirements, and nice, let's see. But our printer reach. Let's look if we have a reach. Yeah, we have reach. Okay, maybe it will fly. So what we will do here, we will create a Python interpreter and we use, can we create Python okay, it's agent. How I can create virtual environment in YouTube helper folder. It would be something very simple. Oh, really? Create virtual environment Python mvenv vn. So it's our virtual environment. It will take time. That's why it's waiting. Activate virtual environment. cd helper and activate. Okay, it doesn't like this token. I see the issue. It's rewrite it into 2 commands. Now we're activating. And it's activated, hopefully. Successfully activated. Now what? Okay, it's installing all our requirements. Really cool. It's doing it for us. Operation cancelled by user? No. Install run YouTube helper. Okay, thank you very much. So let's try once again. Let's execute new terminal, and we choose command prompt, and we just say, okay, it would be vn. It has scripts. Okay, let's see the examples. cd YouTube helper and do no. Okay, now it's activated. Now we can pip install requirements. It's our usage. Installation. Example usage, download YouTube video. Transcribe video. Generate custom thumbnail. Chat with the assistant. Let task z command here, and we're still waiting for installing everything from this list. It's gathered all the packages and trying to install them into that virtual environment, into that lib, you see. Yeah, pretty a lot. Hopefully it will end soon and we can try to execute our agentic. Let's look at our chat assistant, chat message, chat response, instructions, chat assistant agent, name. Okay, download, video info, instructions, download agent, tools. So it doesn't have ability to download tool. Video metadata. Of course, we don't have tools. Thumbnail. And of course, we still don't have tools. And transcript result. And of course, we still don't have tools. Of course. So it would be cool, but yeah, it's not something we can do. Let's upgrade pip. So to skip that message, it should be fast. Let's check response. Oh, we can set OpenAI key, and we will insert it from somewhere. I need to open some of my files which contain that key. And it would be env, local env, okay. Okay. Now we just try to execute Python main. Doesn't have such file. What about that? This way? Attempt relative import with no known parent package. So let's look at README. Installation Python M example YouTube helper main. Most probably it wouldn't work. Let's try just main. Attempt relative import with no known parent package. Let's ask. Let's look at our main manager, YouTube helper manager. Oh, really? Can I insert here error? No? Let me try to copy it once again. Oh, it's actually here. So let's see error. Problem, you're using relative import in main py. When you Python main, alright, Python doesn't know where the parent package is for the relative import. Run as a package. Alright, solution 2, edit main py to use absolute imports. Create a simple launcher script. So activate Python run py. Run py. Add project root to the Python from examples. Oh. Okay. Let's try to use Python run py. And it's in a file manager, and it's trying custom span. Again, trace ID trace. Okay. Let me try to open everything like that at the chat. Now, can you help me with this error? So let's see if it will can handle that error as well. Yeah, it's so simple development. I don't feel myself as a developer at all. It's even explain me everything. It says, okay, the problem, looking for runner in wrong location. When code runs agent import runner pattern looking for your local instead of main project agent package at the root level solution. So you need to do that like that. Open agents, OpenAI agents. I don't think that is right namespace. But yeah, of course, if we use OpenAI agents library, we need to use something like OpenAI agents. Okay. Accept all. Override. So we have of the agents, main, manager, printer, readme, and run py. Couldn't find main project agents package. Let's look at readme. Activate install requirements. Download Python run py. So it's YouTube helper and run py in the same very folder. Okay, let's copy that and see if cursor can do that for us. Previous fix assumes that your project structure has the package name and OpenAI page agents containing an agents model, but it appears your project structure is different. So it's slightly change expected path, and it checks back OpenAI agents to agents. Okay, let's accept everything. Override. But you know, I understand that right now probably we will not receive a fully working solution, especially because, of course, Cloud don't know the most recent SDK from OpenAI agents, and it will try to use even we in the proper folder with the examples, and we ask it to look at the examples, etc., etc. Still, it's rely on its knowledge rather than on our information right now. But of course, we can trick it to create everything as we need. So, but even just if we will use it for future, like we develop everything. Oh, run by run absolute agents exist. It's SRC agents. So here we need join dir file name and actually something like src. Override. No model name examples. So let's look on examples once again. So let's look at the basic hello world from agents. Okay, let's look at the docs. And we look at something like quick start. Create, activate, pip install OpenAI agents. Let's do that as well. Pip install OpenAI agents right now. let's look the current version of agents, and it's 004. So let's go to our example YouTube helper and add to requirements also OpenAI agents. Let's say something like that. Now in RunPy, it's all the sync with manipulation. Import main pam. Let's remove it at all. Delete. Okay. Let's look here. So let's clear the screen and try that Python main py. Examples YouTube manager import, no model examples. Let's look main py, and we just use something like from manager, from agents, conversation agents. All right. So now we see the error on main import YouTube manager course, and then we look at the manager from agents import runner, cannot import runner from agents. And we look at the manager. Let's look another on some basic examples. Let's look on model on research bot. We have here imagine from manager input research manager, and from manager we say agents dot agents planner agents. Okay. Okay. From main. Okay. All right. So attempted relative import with no known parent package. I want to run my project as how I can do that from folder without issues in console. Let's ask a very quick question. I completely understand that it's maybe not the best structure. Why I use that? Because I want to provide some examples to our cursor, you know. Create a simple wrapper script, easiest. Let's create a simple wrapper script, run direct by, that can be run directly. project root. Insert project root. Examples, YouTube helper main, import. Modify main to absolute imports. From examples, create batch file for easy launching. So it's just execute like we tried before. Do we have a runner here? Probably no. Let's look at the docs. It's a quick start once again. OpenAI agents, export, from agents, import agent. From agents, import runner. Okay, looks good. Most probably it will not work, of course. Agents init by. I have installed OpenAI agents library, which has agent namespace, but looks like it slightly conflicted with my own folder agents. So let's copy that thing at the chat. Interestingly, that it's created new chat for me when I try to add to chat, not to that one. So what if I close all? Oh, not compare, accept all. Just interesting. Oh, I already did that. But it will return us to previous error, you know. Of course. So right now with cursor we are walking in circles, you see. What is run direct? Insert, import agents, import found agents model. So let's look if we can use YouTube helper bot. And it's found agent model. Cannot import runner from agents. Possible solution, make sure install dependencies. We actually installed them. Import path in the code match install packages. Okay. So let's look here, activate, and then we call Python C import agents to null, run direct. and try and direct is conversation mode, and conversation mode is accept file, accept all. So main, oh, it's so complex. They created so complex. So Python run direct found as agents model error importing helper model cannot run from agents, and it's where runner. Oh, and if you look here on this readme agents, OpenAI tracing examples, documentation for more details. Get started. If you can install OpenAI agents. So we're looking for OpenAI agents. There. What I'm doing, I'm trying to reinstall everything because looks like I don't see OpenAI agents in that folder. Maybe it's found that it's in that distributed folder, of course. But yeah, it's something I try to fix here because looks like cursor itself with couldn't do that. So let's try to just install our requirements once again. And if not, probably we'll try something similar just tomorrow. Or maybe not tomorrow. I need to decide on my stream schedule and topics. Because looks like, yeah. Okay, you know what? Probably I'll work on that myself on my preferred setup. And once I've reached something, probably I would better be well prepared for that stream rather than, yeah, I know that I did a lot of research in my streams before, trying to do something here and something there, but you know, of course it's not as informative for you, and of course it's maybe interesting for me because I'm using the time to self-learn, but it would be very hard for me to encourage you to learn when I when I'm doing so many researches mistakes, and yeah, I couldn't call it streams very educative. Yes, it just shows that the tools I use, they're not perfect. They also can do mistakes. All that cursors, cloud, and others like Copilot from OpenAI or from GitHub and so on. Of course, they do a lot of mistakes, and still we need some developer mind to resolve some simple issues. And it's something, yeah, I'll do myself. At the same time, I don't want to completely halt all that developer streams, but rather I do something when I will know for sure the results, or I will be at least confident I can show you at least something. So what we show that now, what we know, what we see from all that news, that now the era of LLMs, for sure, they talking about AGI, but they try to create AGI using LLMs, which will never happen. For AGI, we need another research, another thing. So what LLMs can do? LLMs basically use some mathematical model of our brains and our neurons, how they create LLMs, and they create several layers of neurons, and they automate each neuron initially as some graph element, or let's call it automata robot, which can take some input and it's calculate some output and send it like further. And after some calculations, they understand that all that small agents, all our neurons, have some coefficient, and they could be used some simple formula to calculate input and output. And looks like if they will use some layer, they understand, okay, it's just matrix. We just could evaluate matrix multiplications and receive the next layer results. And how they create all that mathematics we know about LLMs. And of course, initial coefficients, it's called weights of the model. Initially, they use some algorithms called genetics. Now they use some pre-trained models, and they train models using other models, and so on. I actually haven't trained model myself, and I don't know all the internals. It's pretty complex right now. But now they receive such models with stable coefficients, and they say, hey, it's how we create AGI. No, it's not. Because in our human brains, it's completely interactive process. It's new neurons created, old neurons dissolve or die, and they work on slightly more complex formulas than just matrix multiplications. And we receive so many input signals. It's not just text, it's not just image, it's complete video, let's say video like from camera, but it's slightly more complex. It's like from several cameras when you can see light in multiple diapasons. It's also audio signals, it's signals of temperature, of wind, of touch, and on multiple, it's signals from our internal organs, from body, and so many other signals we even don't know they exist. And that goes to our mind, which is much more complex than most complex LLM, and it's evolve all the time when we sleep, when we talk, when we read. It's not when we just communicate, it's all the time. It's all the time creation and destroyal of some elements. Of course, humans are quite successful to create something similar, but it's a very simplified model. For AGI, we need much more complex model, much more sophisticated mathematical models than just for LLMs. And of course, LLMs can help with it, but it would be another LLM, and if we call it AGI, no. AGI would be on completely new mathematics, on completely new algorithms. And I hope, and I know, I think I know that some big companies already doing that in the way, like I'm telling you, it's require a lot of computation power, a lot of memory, but it's not impossible, of course. That's why I'm saying that it's all depend on how efficient they could create that AGI that they will create. I don't have a doubt. And if one AGI will cost like thousands of humans to do the work, of course, it would be not as efficient and it would be in research. But when they found how to make it efficient, when they could really take as much energy as one human or like 5 humans, but make work like thousands, of course, humans would be replaced in a large scale by that AGI. LLMs, they're still very targeted, and you need developer prompts and other things to create what they're doing. So we are pretty safe right now this year. But we see that agents, it's how they try to resolve that when one LLM is pretty targeted. They create agents that basically what they can do, they create new prompts for other LLMs. So they create agents as LLMs, and they have one LLM which could rule them all. And it says, okay, you will need to search. And one LLM know exactly how to search and how to return results. Another LLM know how to process some results, etc., etc. So they have a lot of very efficient LLMs, which much more than tools, like before, which can use a lot of tools to do their work. And after that, like they could return the results to main LLM, and it could guide them again to do the work. All that new development from Chinese, all that new development from OpenAI, it's just those LLMs. And of course, it's not complex at all, and I really want to create very quickly with Cursor LLM agents which can do work in our field, in field of YouTube AI helper. But looks like it's not for one stream, it's probably for several streams. So what I want to do, I want to prepare some code and show you that it's possible and it could work nicely. But I'll do it, as I said, I will be better prepared for that work and show you. So yeah, that's it. And about future, of course, LLM will never can like go inside humans' mind right now, and they couldn't feel empathy, deep feeling love, sympathy, and so on. Of course, they're very clever, and they will do what they can do. They could analyze knowledge, can return some results, but they do only mathematics. AGI I don't know how complex it would be created. It can do much more. And maybe it can do even feel some feelings, even if it would be mathematical. But come on, many humans feeling are very mathematical. What we can do, we can learn, we can promote our non-mathematical feelings like love. It's very complex feeling, even if it's mathematical and higher mathematic, like empathy, forgiving, acceptance. It's all very high feelings and all very high things. Let's develop that thing, because otherwise it would be easier to replace us and even our feelings with AGI. So that's what I want to tell you today. And of course, I'm going to show you some AGI, some agent results on my targeted example of YouTube. So I think that's it. And have a nice day. I'm not sure if I will stream here tomorrow, but what I'm sure that I will continue streaming here. Look at news and community news and my stream schedule. I will update it shortly. And so far, have a great day. See you.